You guys just did 1 million in 1 month, built 1 million in 1 month. Big roofs only. How real is that? Talk to me. Like, are you guys really, really that focused? You're not going to take a small roof?
We will if it makes sense, but for the most part, as far as our lead generation, our focus, outbound focus is big roofs.
Hey, how's it going? It's Tim Brown, and this is the Hook Better Leads podcast. And today I have the pleasure of having on Jeff Achteroff and Ryan Tucker from Fraser Roofing. How you guys doing?
Doing good, doing
Awesome.
good.
And we're talking about selling as a team because you guys have kind of an unusual situation. You guys go out together. One of you is like kind of like high energy extrovert, and one of you is like, I don't know, the other guy.
Yeah, that could be part of it. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so talk to me about why the dynamic works and what you guys have been doing. Why, and also like this is a big moment for you guys. You guys just did 1 million in 1 month, built 1 million in 1 month. Not
Yes,
sold
sir.
1 million in 1 month, built 1 million in 1 month. So talk to me about like how the team plays into that.
Yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, well, let's start with how the team formed.
Yeah.
Jeff and I are both COVID transplants, so we both have a background in hospitality, specifically ultra luxury hospitality. So I came out of hotels and Jeff's out of restaurants. And with COVID, everything kind of shutting down, we were needing to look and find new careers, new industries to invest in. And the Jeff actually started with roofing a little bit before I did, and he was telling me all about it. And I really like the aspects of being outside, controlling schedule, that kind of stuff, the flexibility that was the initial interest in it for sure. And we found that kind of teaming up, we were able to affect the deals that we were capable of doing a little bit more, a little quicker, meaning like we could just subsidize each other's knowledge. Starting out
Mhm.
very green, not knowing much about roofing and construction in general. So it was initially an opportunity for us to get the motor running faster, basically.
Mhm.
Well, but what it's evolved into, I think, and Jeff can probably speak on this more too, but what it's evolved into is a really synergistic partnership where as we've gotten to know each other over the last few years in working styles, we know how to fill each other the gaps that we might have, the blind spots and what have you, and really just all working to serve the customer in the end.
Speaking of filling each other, you guys try to, you're not, so you guys are not actual brothers. You said you're bros for big
That's right.
roofs only, and you said
Yep.
that is not like an underhanded way to say gay lovers. Is that
Yeah,
correct?
right. Yeah, exactly.
And I
Exactly.
mean,
No,
not that there's anything wrong with that. We're not talking smack. It's just, it's good for clarity,
yeah. Yep.
just in the
Yep.
whole situation.
Yep.
And
Uh,
but we got the three T's of that we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about team. We're going to talk about targeting, and we're going to talk about integrity. We just really wanted to work in another T.
that's right.
Uh, but integrity. All right. So the team piece. Let's dive a little bit more into that. Big roofs only. How real is that? Talk to me. Like, are you guys really, really that focused? You're not going to take a small roof, or what is the deal on that?
We will,
Yeah.
if it makes sense, but for the most part, as far as our lead generation, our focus, outbound focus is big roofs, and full neighborhoods of big roofs
Yeah.
50
as well.
squares or more.
Yep.
And
Yep.
then
Because we got two
so
mouths to feed.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So the team piece of it, that like I love that you guys came from like the luxury stuff because so back in the day I was a valet, and I honestly think that helped me a lot in just service and business
Yes.
and stuff like that. Like we weren't allowed to say like no problem. We had to say like my pleasure or whatever. And all
Yes,
the
sir.
service stuff that you have, if you bring that into roofing, in comparison, dude, I see some crazy stuff in these Facebook groups with people like saying like just tell the customer how it is, and you gotta lay down the law. It's like, dude, well, yeah, if you're shrinking, if you want to shrink, or if you want to
Right.
stay the same, if you want to be a $2 million roofer for the rest of your life, then great. Yeah, absolutely. Just tell them how it is and move on. But if you want high end customers,
Yep. You've got to bridge
What have
that
you guys
gap.
found? Yeah, what have
Yeah,
you
you
found that they want?
I mean, high-end customers, they want transparency, and they want to know that the contractor of their choice is going to do what they say. So having two of us, it allows us to be able to work a homeowner differently than one-on-one, where it's pure BS coming out of a salesman's mouth. With two of us, it just adds the integrity.
it's bolstered BS.
Yeah, it's bolstered BS. And it allows us to really build the rapport with the homeowner, because we have two brains working at the same time, talking with the homeowner. I use a lot of personality more so than Ryan. Ryan uses more of the tech, the tech aspects of the jobs and processes. Ryan's the guy that can fix anything when it breaks. I cook, so I do not have that, luxury to be like, yeah, it broke, I'll be there to fix it. Ryan's kind of the fix it guy. And it
Do you
jumping
guys
back.
do you guys sit on jobs when they're happening? Like I know that
Yes.
we were talking about that project management side of all this. How much do you guys see yourselves as that, and how much do you free up time to go to sell other stuff? Like where is that line?
So by camping out at the build of the day, it allows all of the neighbors in these luxury neighborhoods to be able to see, one, the branded Fraser truck sitting there constantly. There's two of us. We live in different parts of South Carolina, so we're coming in. So we have two trucks that are sitting there. We have a site manager. We do introductions. We do everything the right way in that
Do you guys
aspect.
you do have a different site manager besides you two?
Yes. So
but this goes into that targeting, that second T, team targeting integrity, and targeting. Like you guys are really all about a specific neighborhood. When you're on a specific neighborhood, you're owning it.
Yeah, we go pretty deep on the reconnaissance side of things. So um, we'll pull up the whatever your preferred hail map is, and then pull up Zillow, for example. Go
Well, what is
through,
your preferred hail map? Like, I'm just curious.
we like Hail Recon.
yeah,
Okay.
just
Okay.
for us, mostly because of we've already learned it, and it's it works. It does all the things that we need, and we don't have to learn a new system. So
We
not
talk specifics on this podcast. This is all like people
all right.
watching
Fair
this are
enough.
probably roofing nerds, so you're allowed
All
to
right.
say whatever.
All right. Good to know. But yeah, so we'll dig in, look at the hail swath, and what we look for basically is uh blue circles, blue squares. I want to
Pools.
see pools in backyards, and then we see a neighborhood that has a good number of pools. We can assume those are attached to big roofs. We get in the neighborhood. The things that we want to see in the neighborhood are a community pool in addition, because our community pool or tennis court or something that brings the homeowners together. And the last piece is sidewalks.
So Rilla allows you to listen to it's an AI in your pocket,
Yeah.
listens to the appointment. It's pretty crazy what it can do. It gives a script, gives everything they said, it breaks down some statistics for you.
Analyze talk ratio, interactivity, like how you and I are interacting back and forth, longest modeling, like all those
Honestly,
things.
this is the shit that I most believe in AI.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Enhancing the
You're
user
about to put
experience.
math and data around something that used to be my magic skill.
The neighborhood has to have sidewalks, and at that point, that's a home run neighborhood. So now we start counting roofs, pull a couple of roofers, find out the size. We know what the average square pays from insurance in our neighborhood or in our area. So then we count roofs, and listen, that's a $2.3 million neighborhood. We know for a fact that we've got what it takes to eat over half of that neighborhood. So is this a prime target? Where does this fall in our targeting? And at that point, then we start canvassing, door knocking, and ramping up in the neighborhood.
Wow, I love that method. That's good.
Also like to look for the gated communities. Most, especially during the school year, most gated communities keep their gates open in the morning to allow the in and out traffic.
I was about to say,
again
do they let guys
5.
with those kind of beards come into those gated
yeah.
communities?
Oh,
Okay.
Well, it's a calling card. Once they see us once and meet us and realize we're nice, oh yeah, the bearded guys are fine.
the bearded guys.
I like that. That's good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so gated community. Okay, and then do you ever like you target one and you go in and you just don't feel it or something doesn't go right and you get out? Like how quick do
Oh
you
yeah,
like make that decision? How often do you make that decision?
we got to build first.
Yeah.
We're gonna build. If we're gonna target, we're gonna build one roof in there, and then response. So we've also noticed there's these little breakthrough points in this process of trying to, like we say, eat the entire neighborhood, be the
Yeah.
preferred roofer. If you get one, you're going to get two, because you're going to get one of the six pack, or one of the surrounding neighbors.
Yeah.
The next hurdle after that is, so basically we try to plant those onesies in a couple of areas of the neighborhood. If we get one
Mhm.
here, then we want to get one on the other side of the neighborhood and one on the other side of the neighborhood. So
Like,
we're kind
let's
of
talk
blanketing.
logistics. Does that mean they get a deal? Like, does that mean you're kind of going
No,
a little lower price or like what?
no.
When you say you're trying to plant some, how are you planting? Like, how
So
are you making sure you get into a few good spots?
door knocking. Think about, so customers, gaining customers, you can look at it like the tech guys do a really good job with it. They know that their early adopters are 17% of the customer pool. So we assume the same for roofing, meaning that I know that there are folks in the neighborhood that are willing to use us based on our reputation alone. We've just got to find those guys. So
So
we
you
find
don't
those
you
customers.
do you do precise door knocking, or are you saying you canvas the whole thing and you get three and then you go, or you stop? You
Yeah.
only do a little couple areas and then you
So
wait.
say we get one over here. Now we focus our door knocking on the other side of the neighborhood until we get one there, and we focus our door knocking on the other side of the neighborhood until we get one there.
Oh,
And then we stop knocking
Then we stop knocking.
until we start building.
Yep. Builds go on. Then we knock around the specific builds. And there's something that happens after the sixth or seventh roof that you do in a neighborhood. At that point, you're being considered the preferred neighbor. You've got the homeowners on their Facebook page, talking about their experience and really suggesting and referring you to others. But
mhm.
again, folks, maybe somebody only walks just their block and they only know their neighbors. So that's why we also try to spread out those initial roofs that we get in a neighborhood around it.
Wow. Okay, that was a lot of value right there. I really, really appreciate that. Anything else that you do related to being present on the build? Because I know that that's part of the targeting is being present on the build. What else are you doing in those moments that you feel like is a little bit different or above and beyond?
I mean, there's a couple ways from a psychology standpoint where you can literally put your truck right in front of somebody's house. So if you see a 100 square monster roof and you're doing a 60 square roof being built, position the truck sitting right in front of their house. We're smokers, so we then don't smoke in our truck because they've got, Ring doorbell in high end communities. That's a turnoff. Things along those, the things that you wouldn't do in a fine dining restaurant, you apply the same method. Make sure the truck is clean, make sure it's nice and shiny, make sure, all of the little things that attract the eyes. And if you're sitting in front of a Ring doorbell, they then see that you were present for a majority of that day. If we got to run in and out, bathroom breaks, lunch breaks, things along those lines, you come right back and you park right back in the same spot that you were, get out of your truck. Even if you're not really project managing it, walk around your builds, stand out there, hold some trash in your hand, yada, yada, yada.
Any other like job site branding things that you guys do, like signs, catch-alls, like anything else that you guys do?
We'll put a sign out, and then we've got some little door hangers that one side says "Pardon our mess" and the other side's an invitation for inspection.
Okay, cool. Just seeing
So
what else you guys might do. Yeah.
yeah. So first thing in the morning, putting out the "Pardon our mess" signs in all of the attached yards. That way they know how to get a hold of us if trash flows into their yard or what have you. But more than anything, just letting them know who's doing the work, touching again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sweet.
Yeah. But yeah,
All
I
right.
think to Jeff's point, just being hospitable, being approachable, being present.
Talking to everybody that walks by the build.
Yep.
At least a hi, how are you doing? Good morning. Hope you're doing well. If they've got dogs, we're dog people.
Yep.
Playing with the dog with a homeowner opens up conversation very easily, at least for us. Rubbing a golden retriever's head.
Jeff we literally just left the house that had a golden retriever, and he's still in love with it. So.
Dude, I love that. You think about I guess sometimes the hunting versus gardening, it feels a little bit more like gardening almost. You know what I mean?
It,
Like your guys are
It's
gardening
cultivating
the
for sure.
area.
yeah,
And it's kind of crazy because, like, okay, these guys aren't, sorry, I'm talking to the audience for a second. These guys aren't lazy.
right.
They're just, they're on it. They're with the build. And then I think the other thing is sometimes it's hard to stay in that good attitude because I can tell you guys probably make it kind of fun and entertaining and vibey as people are, you're being cool. You're being cool around the
Yep.
build. And like, it's not just sitting on the build, like
Right.
sitting on your build. It's sitting on your build and being gregarious and being friendly and being whatever. I just think
I
that's
don't.
like, yeah.
RoofCon's amazing. Getting to see all the speakers like Nick and Eric and especially Tim Tebow. Very exciting and eye-opening.
Amazing speakers and great knowledge. Keep it up.
First RoofCon, been following Hunter and the Revolt Clan for quite some time, and it's definitely been a lot more than what we expected.
RoofCon 2023 returns to Orlando, Florida, November 9th through the 11th. Get your tickets at roofcon.com.
I don't really call it the gardening aspect.
Yeah.
I get that in the sales world, people look at it where you're either hunters or farmers.
Yeah.
I think of it more like I'm standing out there with ears of corn, breaking it off and throwing corn in the yard and
For
bringing them in
the
and
deer.
sniping them. And it's just easier to
that's
shoot all the
good.
deer in one spot.
That's beautiful. That's really good. And I think that's a good, and I think, and just to think about that for a second, like I do think some people like have that need to just be doing busy work though. Like they have to
Right,
be
yeah.
knocking everything. Like if they're
Right.
not knocking everything, then they might think of themselves as lazy, right? As we elevate, as we become better at our job, maybe chilling and like throwing those ears of corn, as you say, like is a better use of our time, even though it might feel like you're kind of sedentary. So how
'Cause
do
if
you
you're go-
fight that feeling a little bit?
So the way we looked at it is getting into it since 2020, we've dominated a handful of neighborhoods, meaning in 2020 our first experience was, and it was sort of where we learned a majority of everything. It was a nice community. It was average homes, about 47 to 60 square roofs. There was 57 homes in there.
63. We did 57.
Oh, sorry, 63 homes. We ended up in the end of
Only the
all of
ones
it.
we did.
We did 57 homes in that community. And we
Crazy.
did that where we tried coming out of the chute where we wanted to knock every single door in the neighborhood, in the community. You know, let's get everybody in, AccuLinks, let's call them ours, place that ownership on them. Like, we're going to do all of these. And it overwhelmed the system where now you've got, you have 45 contacts in your ledger that you're trying to call on and close. You're going to miss some stuff. So we kind of revamped that system and we started looking at it like he was saying, of 3 points of contact within the neighborhood. And we would start working those and organically move down the streets until we then, conquered and ate pretty much everything on the street. So we started that with the 63 home community in 2020. And then end of 2021 going into 2022, we went to a new neighborhood that had about 200 homes in it, mixed age, built from 2004 to 09, before the real estate shutdown kind of happened. And then, there's some newer national brand homes that go around the perimeter of the neighborhood. So 200 homes were total in there. And we've eaten so far, 134 homes in a year in that neighborhood organically by being present, walking up and down the streets. Our truck is in there every single day. Once they see you a million times driving through that neighborhood, all of the homeowners then start looking around going, well, shit, there's something wrong with our roof because these two guys are in our neighborhood 5 days a week. And so we do that. And then we say, okay, we only have the ability as a two-man team to do that for 3 different communities. So we don't call it a star route, call it whatever you want, but we have 5 points of interest on our day-to-day basis of communities that we work in, that we try to stay in, to where what we see, even some of the top guys within Fraser, they kill themselves on windshield time. They're driving all over the place, all over Atlanta, all over Greenville, South Carolina. And they're wasting 80% of their time by driving and chasing and doing the actual hunt.
Yep.
So that's where I roll it back and say, we are hunting. We're just baiting what we're going to prey upon.
Yeah.
And then we smoke everybody in our area. I mean, I don't think there's really any other guys that we meet, restaurants, things along those lines, when they see we got Fraser on or the truck. How's your year going? Oh, great. How much have y'all built during this storm? Oh, we're at 4.2 million year to date. Huh?
Mhm.
And because in South Carolina, your average roofer does about $600,000 in a year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Doesn't pay as great as, Minnesota and Colorado and spots like that. So everybody's blown away. And then when people ask, they just kind of nod their head and, that doesn't seem like that would work. But proof's been in the pudding for us that it works wonderfully.
Yep.
And let's talk about, go ahead. Excuse me.
I was going to say, just back to that, the star, the star route is Jeff and I both also have a pretty healthy understanding from previous careers of busy idiot as well. And it's like, just being busy does not equal being productive. Like, what closes the deals, what gets you in front of more homeowners that you can actually affect, a deal with.
And the podcast is put on by hookagency.com, Hook Agency all over social. And I really appreciate you guys being on. If you're watching this, like, comment, subscribe, all the things, and see you next time.